gladly take mid control, even though it's often given over. We'll see if they can press out of this one as well. I think their last run was Mouse Sports 2 days ago for SK. It was, yeah, 8 rounds they got for the whole thing. It was 16-8 in favour
Maybe Chris J could help us.
Well, I mean, Chris J doesn't know who we are, so...
Pray for Chris J to help us.
Please notice me, Chris J.
But Get Right just going to be pushing up on the B halls, and Forrest is doing the same over by Palace, so getting a great deal of... How is he still alive? Cillian does take him down, so they're going to have to be pretty quick off this. The bomb's now been spotted. Forrest is on the long rotate, but Freiburg's still on the side. He spots down Molly, just making a mad leap towards... What is going on this round?
Ignored him.
And now Molly comes back.
Do you want Freiburg with that? That was ridiculous. I can't believe he just straight past. I'm sure he knew Freiburg was there. I have to feel like that. But anyway, he went in towards shop and still comes out with the kills. So brilliant. Exist and Forrest now working from 2 different angles, but Cillian will shut this down very, very quickly. Forrest though responds in kind. The bomb ticks away. Forrest doesn't have a kit available to him as well, and Magisk is going to dispense with any need to even worry about defusing.
That's... I actually like seeing a different start from them, because you saw NiP put in 3 players almost looking towards Palace, so I don't know if that's something they've noticed themselves and expected. She had 3 players very much dedicated towards site and watching the Palace push out, so I was wondering if maybe NiP were reading into that. And SK throwing a curveball was a little bit different. Bearing in mind, normally it's kind of a bit of a split on the T side here. It's normally Magic goes towards B, Molly towards A, and then they kind of work through mid with the remainders. That's actually exactly what we're seeing now. So this is back to more of a normal stance. But then again, SK have been actually pretty proficient at taking mid control until now, and they should be able to do so with these upgraded sort of weapons here. Freiburg's going to be challenged out in mid, but actually comes out on top towards 1. Priest goes down, but they're keeping control of the situation, which is the main part.
Get Right hasn't really had a chance to put that Mag 7 to use at all, really, and I don't think he's going to get any better ones now if he's going to press out of jungle. Maybe something in connector. That's where SK are filtering themselves up through here. So a chance here as well if Get Right's quick on the trigger finger. Pimp's head goes flying. Magisk, though, will be able to come out and pick him up, and there's no need to worry about Magisk with 2, Pimp with 2 in that round. And I like how Vendetta brought up as well the whole Pimp AWPing or not AWPing saga. That's going to be interesting to see if he goes for that, because I thought he was quite good on Case with it, to be fair. I'm going to see now as we head into the 3rd round. NiP. Yeah, a little bit of some mini forces there as well. Of course, the Mag 7 for Get Right only really yielded that 1 kill here, so they're going to be a little bit more sensible about it, which is what we've come to expect more from NiP. They've got a bit of a stack here towards short, and it's going to come up with not a lot here, as a Cillian will be protected by smoke as he does descend in towards mid. He may get picked up by the firing squad here, but that would be about it now. Not even seen as he goes in towards connector. Get Right says to his team, how do you not see this guy pushing forward? So of course Get Right wasn't ready for that. And now full control of A for SK.
Yeah, it's just NiP trying to stack something out, and you might as well on these rounds. There's no harm in doing it, really. You're not going to get much done anyway. They haven't invested into anything. So just the USPSs and not much more, really. And I think just the P2K would pit just because. So yeah, if they get anything done, as in them finding a Cillian, is still pretty impressive, just full stop. And Pit actually could be able to do something here. And he gives away the game a little early. And it's just left to Forrest. So, not able to get too much out of this round. Not particularly costly either at this point. And another plant on the board for SK, which is actually 1 needed. And going to make their money a little more robust, which is something they didn't really have that much of in the Pro map.
To be fair, I feel like this is the bare minimum of expectation on SK being met here. Definitely needed to capitalize correctly off the pistol, because I think it was last map actually as well, where things went a little bit wonky for them in the first few rounds, and that was what kept NiP ahead for so long, and SK really had to fight to bring it back, and then NiP were able to draw forward yet again. So we'll see now what turns out on this one. It's Forrest with the AWP in hand. 3 players for SK being split over with Pimp in the mid. With the bomb as well, as Freeze just doesn't spot their page up here across here, and NiP have been able to muscle their way on towards this A site. And Freeze is not even going to bother. He's going to back away towards mid.
But this is nice. Exist and Freiburg going to go for information play towards ramp, get some map control back at the moment, as Molly's been knocked off, as has Magic, who's been working over that B side. Cillian was there as well. So NiP have kind of worked out that there's no one on ramp at the moment, so assuming maybe that there's a couple more towards mid. But again, 3 players from NiP dedicated towards A. Freiburg's still desperate for some information here, or maybe just going to slowly work out. And Molly's backed off from this, so SK playing a little differently, just setting themselves up. Could be a late split towards A. I think Molly's just done the mid-smoke. That's going to drop over towards, I think, short at this point. And that'll allow Pimp and Freeze to cross through if needed. But again, there's still Freiburg looking for information. He might hear steps as well from Moddy and Cillian. So there's a lot banking on these kind of last-minute plays from SK. And Freiburg, I don't think has heard any of this, but he could be in a good position to play retake here and get a good spot. But Forest now going to get swung out on by Magic. Great little flash coming in from top mid. They're going to allow the peek towards Connector. And actually, SK is going to have full run of this site. But Freiburg is on the lurk behind. Exist and Pit, joining by Get Right, are on the way back towards A. But this site is theirs. Freiburg, what can you do here?
Should get at least 2 if he's quick enough here. We'll probably take Modi at this stage. He's going to have to. He's got no choice now. He's pushed so far forward. He can stop the bomb plant. That's perfect stuff now. It's going to force the ceiling to come across. But in the meantime, NiP, been whittled down to just one player. And that's Get Right now forced to show us some heroics. Unfortunately, he's going to stop a little bit short there. Freiburg, his hand was forced, I guess, pushing out of T-ramp there as well. He saw Modi super early on. And he's just had to go from strength to strength there as well. Pressing their way forward.
Magic, already having a really great game. 7-0 for him. Playing very nicely. NiP being kept down on the money, not be able to get too much built up, of course. CZs, P250s, a Deagle for Freiburg. Not much more, and it looks like the bomb, again, in the hands of Vasilian. A little bit more attention, I guess, towards that B side, ensuring that Magic maybe doesn't get pincered in from underpass or gets pressured from it. He can slowly work in towards B if he fancies. I think you might have heard Pit jumping around on short then. So let's see where they take from this. SK playing this one very cautiously. Exists being dedicated to watching if Modi plays the push as well through Palace. So you can see, just desperate for this kill if they do push through. And actually SK are coming back around quite late in the game. And SK do like to run that clock down pretty far. They love taking late mid control. They seem to hit A pretty well. And considering NiP only have pistols, they're just kind of weathering the storm at this point. It's like, how long can we last it? Can we do any damage? I doubt they'll be able to recover rifles at this point, as SK are going to take so long to build up to it. Molly's out, forcing them into awkward spots. Freiburg just be playing for pretty much sound at this point, and there you go, no vision to be seen. And he does make it away, but SK again, down to about 45 seconds here.
Yeah, I don't think Freiburg even wants to sit there, even if there's some sound to be gained. But again, it's going to be on towards short here, and NiP have already stacked out on A as well. So SK are going to get their way through here onto this one. But Get Right does hook back around. He's going to have a lot of company in a second here. You should hear the nades coming in, so that should be enough. With only 30 seconds left in the round, you've got to think that SK are committed here as well, and Get Right, no way you can really be ready for that if you don't know who's on short. Now Pit through the smoke coming through. Freiburg actually gets taken down. And
Smoke Ninja strikes.
Bit of an interrupt on the bomb plant there. But Forest will eventually be set back in as well. This is a very, very, very quiet start from NiP here, and SK already up to a 5-round lead. And again, for them, in that round, only losing to one player, you're pretty happy with that.
Okay, buy time coming in. This, hopefully, will make the difference. Double AWP actually coming straight out. That's big investment. Okay, so Pit and Forest both going on the AWPs now. Freeze on the other side, not too surprising there. And, well, let's see how they do in this one again. SK running down the time quite early on. Exist already getting himself in towards underpass, so going to be just waiting this out. Magic isn't too far away either, so this could be a lovely little duel going down early on, as just going to hear this. Perfect pop flash.
Somehow, Magic, so through the flash, has been able to pick up Exist there. Cheeky headshot cleans him up pretty easily now, and this slows SK up a little bit with Magic being so low. In fact, he's going to get himself out of underpass here, lest he is challenged by that second player. Freiburg not going to find much over on A quite yet, as SK still going to set something up here as well. Will be a set play coming forward. Just care of Modi and Pimp at this stage, and there's a couple of guys now coming up to join Modi. Only one player on this site to receive the hit. It's going to be Forest. One in connector as well. Freiburg's going to have to make a quick push out of there. And here come the smokes in.
I like these smokes. They're a little bit different. They're like the closer line almost. It does allow players to have a bit of room to breathe. You remember Nico being the player who really punished SK for this before, but that's no Nico, that's Freiburg. Modi's going to overrun him pretty comfy, take the fight there. Now bomb's planted safely. You've got a 5-man standing team here with that complete lockdown on A. Modi's in a great spot. Get Right's probably come around the back and take him down, but so much time bought. But Get Right follows towards Pimp. Sick play, but it's not enough to secure the round. And again, SK, with these slight variations that actually didn't work out too well against Mousesports before, making them work this time pretty well.
And a Cillian having a much better game than he did earlier on as well. Magic yet to die. So between the two of those, SK, that's 20 frags on 2 players. And it's clear to see where a lot of the strength from SK Gaming is coming now as well. And the rest of NiP looking shaky just in general. You saw, I think, an NiP player sitting in connector there as well the last few moments of that round. Just lost the duel, whereas last map it was NiP winning out a good majority of those, and that's where the close rounds came from. Something's unsettled them Or at least maybe it's just SK preventing them from really setting their feet properly now. But again, 2 players push forward here in the direction of Palace. It's Forest and Exist on your screen. Muddy just working on his own here as well. Again, rattling the cage, but Exist, great little shot towards Muddy there. Through the corner of the wall is going to be enough to finish him off. Now push through connector as well. Flash. Asilian going to go through, see what he finds here as well. Spray down on towards Forest, but Exist is back behind. Magister replies onto Freiburg, and Exist falls on the site. SK Gaming get on towards A.
Bit of a shame for Exist. He could have maybe even done more. I know that's a lot to ask considering he already found 2 and recovered a rifle, but could have maybe punished that player, dropping towards Sandwich then, and now Pit on the bit of a flank. Only has a deagle, no armor, so really get right's the meat of this sandwich, and the meat has been removed. Pit,
now
you better go beast mode. Yep.
Shame.
Just
making sure he's on the head.
If he takes the longer time, he could have the quicker swing out on the second, but Magic lands the shot. And really, you're not going to do much with that armor here, as the knockback's going to be pretty deadly. 7-0, though. What a sick start for SK.
Brilliant. And still, it's Magisk with an excellent little last round there as well. Look at the cash on him and Asilian as well. They're raking it in. Buy after buy after buy coming in here for SK Gaming. And they're going to keep it going if NiP don't have something to say about it here. But they do have the buy themselves here, and NiP have got all the tools that they need to bring this one back. Again, SK Gaming will be tentatively pressing through B and mid. You can see Magisk now as well, trying his luck. Magisk boy as well, just taking a couple steps back here. It's going to be Forest looking in towards mid at the same time. And NiP spread out through mid, and even Pit actually has got himself a good little advantage off towards the side. He was in the ladder room. And I don't really feel like SK get easy passage towards B this time. They're going to have to grind it out, do it the old-fashioned way. 3 players in towards mid here as well for SK Gaming. So they might go and test, and Forrest had a chance there. If he was just holding that angle on towards mid, he would have had a shot now, but he looks towards A, and this actually lets SK up and towards top of mid. Even with the smoke towards short, just in case there's anything coming from mid window. They've gained some ground for free here. We'll see what they can do by sallying forth from this location. They've got mid control. No one playing at mid window, although even if they were, they'd be forced out by now as the smokes have been coming in one after another. And Pit preparing for some sort of B hit as well. It's quite possible at this stage as SK seem to be angling in that short direction. Pit will be holding the corner. We may have just seen Asilian there as well. Hard to say. Now come the smokes on towards B. That's a great little flick though, over towards Asilian, and Forest gets there as well, doing his job. And now only 2 players left for SK. NiP looking like they're about to post their first round here. Just 9 points of health is all they need to get through. Get right will get on towards Moddy there as well. A little bit late in the half and to be mounting a comeback, but just means that their margin of error for dropping rounds is going to be that much more limited here, Lauren. I
don't know what to say about this one. 1-7. From what was a really sick first map to this, it's just like, what?
Yep.
What? To be fair though, like it's SK do seem to have like some insanely good like specialties. I look at like Cobble, where they picked up some really cool victories not too long ago, and they've had some really nice performances. But it feels like when Magic has like these big games, it's actually a really impressive like watch. But it's everyone on SK. They're playing well, and the way they play is working out. This is not something that's new. It's just something that's working very nicely for them against NiP. We've seen it worked out by several other teams. NiP just don't seem to be having the same stopping power that other teams do. So again, SK getting that mid control and splitting towards A. However, Moddy this time is focusing towards ramp. Exist is going to be left out kind of to dry at this point as he is trying to watch that Palace push. But actually, it's Forest to find Moddy. Now, not sure how he got that shot. Might have just been through the smoke, to be fair. Freiburg's being the one holding close towards pushing from jungle. Is Pim trading out, but Forest again being where the line stops. And Forest coming up massive with this AWPing. 3 kills now, but Exist has to be a massive factor here. Playing the site, buying the time. 50 seconds left. Freeze, 1v2. Pit's going to be joining him pretty soon. And wow, Freeze just catching out Exist. Meaning Pit's left in this 1v1.
3 kills already for Freeze here, but Pit is going to shut him down. And that's another round coming back for NiP there as well. And SK, well, probably got one hard buy in them before they just have to put themselves on Freeze for a little bit and actually allow NiP to have a couple rounds here. They're hard fought though. Freiburg get right Forest, all 6 kills apiece here, so no high flies, whereas SK do have the 2. Unfortunately, Freeze had a lot on his shoulder in that round, and he actually doubled his frags in that one round as well. So Freeze there, being put into the limelight, being forced to lift, and unfortunately it wasn't quite enough here. Let's sniff the cheese for NiP. Let's see if they come forward now. Forest checks mid and checks underpass. Again, it's just the presence of Modi over at A for SK this round, for now at least. So expect more mid to B play. So Forest this time was looking towards mid and he picks off Freeze straight away. That's going to hurt. Orp goes over towards Pimp. And he'll make no apologies for picking it up in this case.
Forest, though, showing us a bit of a masterclass already. He's been having massive impact in these last couple of rounds, but Freiburg's certain there's more coming towards ramp, and he will back away from this in time. And not have to worry about Pimp and Magic walking through, as they are checking for Freiburg being pushed out, a little cautious towards Connector, and rightly so after SK have had such an affinity with pushing it so far, but it is going to be a bit of a hit towards A. Freiburg's watching for contact. Going to adjust to watch for the Palace push. Exist going to be the one again to watch it, but Forest already there, just watching from CT, leaving just Magic alive, and they've got to know what's coming, and Forest, was that 4 kills that round?
3. 4, yeah, 4.
Counting is hard.
You
should just never do on a math, you know, we learned from Alex.
Yeah, Alex. I think Alex has been a bit modest as well. I don't think he's the worst at math in the office, to be fair.
No, just some more people just stay away from it than him.
Yes, I like that he has a go personally. I mean, here's the thing: I mess it up as well. And
well, to be fair, that's like Chris J with our casting. He likes that we have a go, but it just doesn't really come to much.
Beat the horse until it's dead, Lauren. Until it's dead.
That's all I'm here for. But this looks like the more standard pistol round from SK that they normally go with, just without the smoke towards stairs.
You sound a bit clueless right now, Lauren. You okay?
I don't know anything. Help me. Is this Call of Duty Modern Warfare 9? How does this work?
Black Ops 5.
Nice.
Forest now up on stairs, and if he looks in towards Palace, he's going to have a nice surprise here. The nade is only... Well, actually, no, it does a bit of work. Body goes pretty low, and Freiburg just catches them as they come down towards him. That was not too shabby at all there, as Asilian forced to come past, and Forest there will finish him off. And that was a gimme, of course, for SK, having bought aggressively after losing that first round back to NiP. They kind of have to find themselves in this position. And now the climb back, NiP with 4 quick rounds to respond, as SK had made a big start of it, but again, NiP don't really want to drop another one, to be honest. Kind of stating the obvious there, really, but...
They don't want to lose any more rounds.
I'm trying to say they'd love to come out with 8-7 here at half. That's what I was angling at, but...
At least you went for the math there. That's quite a dangerous job to go for.
The worst part is that I used to do a lot of math, and now I can't do any, so that's humbling.
You chose the esports life. But this is the first time we're really seeing GetRight getting a little more aggressive into these kind of full, well, not necessarily full buys, but bought up rounds here. And he's chosen to go on this, bearing in mind. He has a lot of money. He's got 6.1k. It's a choice to go for the Mag 7. And is already losing out on Modi here. Means that maybe SK do fancy their chances. But it's limited what they can do. And I actually like this. Taco does it for Luminosity a lot. He'll do the closest smoke, but then slowly work through it and just get complete control. So now they know it's not B. If it comes to B, it's through short. So that's another problem. But it's all about the mid hit here.
And with Modi down as well, often that solo player lurking over towards A, NiP can process of elimination their way to knowing that SK are definitely wanting to set up in mid a little bit here as well. And there's a smoking towards Connector, which Freiburg just saw on his screen. And this is now Pimp and Magic are going to want to work towards here as well. So if you're NiP now, you definitely want to be focusing towards there. Clever from Exist here to be ready for this push from Asilian. Obviously, getting rid of Modi doesn't necessarily mean that SK wouldn't try their luck with Palace again. And that's the second for him, controlling A. Now he's the pusher coming across. Freiburg completely annihilated.
Yeah, it's the worst place in the world to be sat, I guess, if you're in Dark and they start pushing through from Connector. You're kind of screwed. But GetRight's in a good spot here. He's going to come out at the right time. Not with the right weapon, bearing in mind, but the right time. The bomb is in the worst position possible because SK have to run back and get it. But Freeze hops up, gets tagged, gets wrecked by GetRight. Oh.
4 shots from GetRight, I think, is what it took to get rid of Freeze. Maybe 3, but I thought Freeze had the outplay as well, jumping up onto the ledge, but GetRight just a little bit too sharp. Pimp on his own. Bomb over at T-Ramp, and NiP have pretty much canvassed that one out here as well. So time obviously going to run out. And here we are.
Here we are, 5-7. And again, GetRight sitting on 8k and just sitting with the Mag 7. See, it's okay for like the B-halls, but it's like, if you're playing retake with that, it kind of sucks.
Sorry, mate, it still worked out. I don't know what the problem is here. Okay, let's preface that by saying it shouldn't have worked out, really. But Freeze went for this really aggressive pick, so, I mean, you get what you ask for sometimes in this game. Sometimes not, but...
That's sick. That's the bomb down as well. I don't know if they've seen it. I can imagine they saw it probably fall. So now they know roughly where the bomb is. Even Forest is starting to cheat across a little and move away from window. Maybe look to hold one of the extremities on the map. SK do have 3 players towards shore. One has collected the bomb. That'd be a magic though. Oh, Pit, sick stuff with the AWP there. Hits that shot just perfectly, and now Get Right lurking on the other side of this smoke. He's going to hear this as well.
Frybug there as well, just trying to spray down in towards mid-room. There's a player at ladder as well that might try and go in for the trade, and they get it. But NiP, well, they can trust in Get Right's ability to get the Mag 7 involved. He's kept that one here. And he's gotten the frag as well. So just Freeze left now, just with an AK this time, and already Pit has left him a parting gift. It's going to be a nade straight towards his extremities. Good night, Freeze, and hello, Ninjas and Pyjamas. 6 in a row for them now, bringing it back, and it is a pause for SK Gaming, who may well have to concede this one if it's not a very successful force.
Nicely done by NiP. If only we had Halvor here to break it down mid-game.
Well, I can't be in 2 places at once. He has to be like Hermione Granger with the time turner thing she uses to get to her divination and herbology classes at the same time. That's not easy to do, right? That doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy. Although, we never know. Just a couple muggles swimming in a big fishbowl. And it's getting late. And it's obvious. So NiP now as well. Chance to reflect on their last 6 rounds they managed to bring up as well. Maybe not ask how do we get here so much as how do we continue to go forward. It's 2 more left in the half.
And actually is a tactical pause by SK, which is the surprising part to my eyes. But
not really. I mean, they just lost 6 in a row, I guess. And this is, well, do we force on this round or do we just stick with pistols and go for something half-assed and then try and get something for that last round of the half? All these questions.
When did Forrest get the AWP, by the way? Do you remember what round? Because I don't. I actually don't remember which round he got it.
Forrest, well, I don't know if he's died since then, but I'm pretty sure Forrest had the AWP back on the first round out of 6 that NiP have won. So that would have been round 8. 7? Round 8, yep. I think.
I think you're right.
That's when he had the big buy-up. And since then, he hasn't actually had to... I don't think he's died since then, in fact.
So it's when they got the first round on the board?
Yeah, I think since then. And then the double AWP coming in as well, which Pit just showcased for his last round, which is actually, honestly, a big part of why that's such a potent strategy for NiP. We saw it on Case as well.
Sorry. The weird thing is that initially when Pit joined that lineup, I was like, I hope he's not coming in as like an AWPer, but actually he's done really nicely as like the secondary AWPer, you know what I mean? Like the guy who kind of picks it up when required.
No one's going to complain about playing second fiddle to Forrest.
No. That's just like the general story, isn't it? You just kind of have to roll with it. But SK are onto just the Tech 9s, smokes and such now. Going to just try and do what they can for these last couple of rounds, as maybe they mulled through this one and kind of went, what's the best way to do it? It looks like a full kind of B-smoke style. You got them coming down towards site and the truck, and hopefully one towards kitchen window, I do believe so. And it is going to be a full play towards it. Good flash there does at least make Get Right turn, so they do get out towards the site. Bomb yet to go down. Magic is there, but it's still Get Right kind of raving in.
Bullets.
Havoc and bullets, but Magic did manage to bite back a little.
Sorry, it will fall there. Get Right and Forest both falling. And Magic has been a catalyst actually here for SK, the whole map, on pretty much all of these rounds here. But they are, they forced into Tech 9s for that one as well. Leaves themselves with enough money to actually go with a reasonable buy here. And it'll just be Magic lacking utility, but the rest of them have a little bit to work with. And Freeze has the AWP, which, to be honest with you, wasn't a big factor in SK winning 7 rounds in a row. I think he still had 3 frags until round 8, so it wasn't about Freeze. It was definitely focused on the Magic Boy and a Cillion, but chance for Freeze as well to get involved still. Forest glancing towards mid. There is 2 players up there as well, and a Molotov warming his extremities. NiP threat, now Rip threat.
Awkward part being, he is actually in-game leader. Like, he's not just sitting there, like, coaching prior to the game. Like, he generally, like, pulls from as well. But I'm sure they'll be just fine at this point. Well, we'll see, actually. 7-7. Molly's come down. NiP hit the peak as well. So they're going to be kind of tucked up in towards connector. Frybug's going to get the drop probably towards 1. Sees the gun barrel, but doesn't actually land the shot in the end. That's a little bit surprising as Cillion's going to break through. Forest on the flank quickly, but no one's in towards jungle, meaning that SK will get control until then. Forest lines him up, knocks him down, and gets 2 on the board for NiP. Should be expecting a Cillion. What a shot from Forest again. This guy is an absolute monster with your 1 below, 1 on towards Palace, and now left in this 2v2. Pit and Exist against Moddy and Freeze.
Plant going down now as well. Exist, note this, no utility for him. It's just a flash on Pit, so got to be careful. And yeah, Exist, if he was going to get a kill there, it had to be an immediate headshot in the direction of Moddy there as well. He can't have allowed Freeze to be able to get a peek now. And Pit watching the corner. Unlikely to see Freeze come forward in this one until Pit shows himself to Moddy, and he's going to put himself right in between them. This is clever. He can cut off Freeze, I guess, from shooting him immediately. But again, that round going to go away. And no threat, no win for NiP there in that one. But halftime comes up. They've got 7 rounds on the CT side. And after a very, very ugly start, they'll be happy with the comeback they've been able to mount, I dare say.
I can imagine we might be waiting a couple of minutes maybe for Pit to come back to us.
Tret, please.
Tret, please come home. Well, I don't know how long they're allowed to take actually on the halves anymore. I know it's longer. I'm genuinely curious. Threat's back with us, do not fear. He has returned, or we'll go back to normal. It's actually relatively useful considering they go into the T side. But again, SK, they always seem to do well first halves, and then the second halves happen, and things go badly, and it makes me sad. So hopefully that's not the case this time.
Yeah, let's have a look at NiP's T side as well. I mean, any takeaways for you on Keisha about NiP's T side there, as we did see the halftime come up? Anything standing out to you? I think they already had a decent buffer by that point.
Well, it's just the set pieces, and for Cash, the weird thing is that everyone's going about that T side, like the mollies and smokes on A, and how that's like this threat influence. It's not really. They were doing that back at Katowice 2015. It's just been kind of fine-tuned, I think, over time, and obviously that was with Alu, so roles have changed. Get right used to, I think, lurk, maybe highway, or no, he used to molly towards highway, but like, there have been some fine adjustments, but NiP are not new to doing that. That's been around for a while. So I was seeing people like, oh, it's really cool seeing NiP with this sort of hit. I'm like, they've been doing that, but it stopped working for a bit because once people kind of work out how to play against it, it kind of just faded away seemingly. But it works when they throw it in every now and then. It catches people off, right? So actually cool seeing it coming back in and being fine tuned and switched up a little bit, different small differences here and there. So not a bad sight at all. But yeah, into this one though, CZ coming out straight away.
That's it. All right, it's going to be the last half of the night. Everybody put your cans in the air. It's time to see if NiP now can show us a little bit more of that trademark T-side.
Can you not do the brap thing?
The war is over. Okay. Mate, as a budding, as a keen amateur host, I definitely was taking notes of the hype he was generating on the weekends.
I hope Paul took notes for the major. Otherwise, I'm going to be gutted. Like, I want to see that coming out.
Columbus will never be the same. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh. Anyway, NiP are down to 4. Forest lost out on that little fight in mid. The PT-50 not quite withstanding Freeze's USPS with armor. And this slow, methodical B hit is going to be coming to the forefront. But Exist and Get Right are pretty far away, actually. So they're going to go for the boost to window. Okay, that makes sense. So I think that's Get Right boosted up to window. He's going to be waiting for a little bit of a peek here. Actually had the angle. Nice little bit of an execution towards Freeze. And it's just seeming like Freiburg and Pit are letting Exist and Get Right, trying to find a couple of kills, find a way to open, whittle down SK at this point, and they're running the clock really low.
Taking their sweet time. It's just the one player over at B for SK Gaming. Magisk even going so far as to put himself on short to see if there's anything untoward occurring in mid, but no. It is a slow and quiet push through apartments. Maybe not so quiet now, as Cat's definitely out the bag as Magic's trying to get a little bit of damage on the crosshair. Freiburg opts to stop and fire. He actually gets rewarded for that and gets the pick on towards Magic. And now Moddy is the second line coming forward. He has to cop one in towards the shoulder now as he tries to work that corner and the bomb being planted down. So NiP work the clock down, or at least they allow the clock to be worked down, but they still get to the side, I'd have to say, very cleanly. Pressure as well towards Moddy now. And going forward on that one, does get one traded in there as well, which works for the T's here, as they do have the advantage. It's Acelian and Pimp now. Again, that peek from Get Right does the same amount of damage each time he's done it, actually, in his last few seconds. But Acelian now having to test here as Pimp actually gets an off angle on towards him at Forest and picks him up. And now pushing on towards the bomb. Acelian wants to go for the defuse here quickly as well. And Pimp can just hold on, but no Exist is there. And he goes double down. It's Acelian and Pimp falling away. They had a decent setup for that one, but they didn't count on the angle that Exist was bringing.
Nice. Nice. See? Threat's back in the team.
Can you just act like you have a clue about the game for a moment here?
No, I'm just really
nice after a round's finish.
No? Nice. All right.
Make it sound like there's two play-by-play casters casting. You're really putting me off.
Stop being so brutal. It's just too savage for me. I'm just getting wrecked. Dank memes aside. NiP in a really great spot, but 4 rifles invested into as Pit's just gonna be the one with the SMG. I'm kind of hoping he just kind of like goes forward as the scout, almost just kind of speaking of scouts, but you know, yeah, playing that kind of spearhead role, just trying to get in there and do as much damage and get as much money built up as possible. But again, NiP being cautious in case there's that, you know, aggression down mid, see if there's a couple of nades, see what's going on, find out if there's a stack, because Molly's already going walkabouts in Palace. And this won't be the only time this happens. This will be a constant back and forth. And Molly's actually going to get the angle here a little. And get right. I wonder if he's going to check. He seems like he is. He's just going to step out, but he does get the kill. But a lot of damage dealt. But that's going to raise alarm bells at this point. I'm not sure if maybe Molly saw the second player as Exist was slightly further around the corner. But the Cillian's going walking in there again as well.
Yeah, going for Exist, but Exist is full health. It's not like he was going to be able to go and get the finish on Get Right. So Exist, to be fair, takes some damage. I mean, 25, 24 is a number, but there's Freeze getting mowed down there as well. And NiP, well, I mean, this is SK Gaming. You know, it's funny because I talk so much on Cage about SK Gaming, a team that don't give away anything for free. They sit back, they hold their lines to get the picks. And, well, now they have gone looking for a couple frags, and they've inflicted damage, but they've lost 3 players, or 2 in the process of trying to get those picks. And Pimp is just, well, slapped right on back towards CT. And they've been taunted by Ninjas of Pyjamas. Try better next time, unfortunately. 16 health for him. He's going to hold on to his gun and his life for now as well. The Magic's Fancy, he's hanging on to the Desert Eagle. NiP starting things off pretty well here. And notice there's 3 Galil by here as well. So it's not super greedy, I guess. Not going for all these ridiculous SMGs as well. And just trying to make sure they can secure this round away. And they should.
Boop. Magic. Deagling. Actually pretty deadly. I think, yeah. It was Exist he tagged, okay. I was like, get right, what's going on? But they do actually manage to take down both players in the end, and all players stay alive. So, 3 rifles remain. Lost out on one of the Galils. Not the end of the world. Because they know that they can just buy through this, because really the most they're going to come up against is maybe a couple of nades, a flash, or something, you know, some mid-aggression or something of the such. Nothing too ridiculous, so they can just go for the Mac-10s, and Forrest is going for the P250, maybe looking towards the AWP pretty soon. Could always be dropped out if needed at some point. But yeah, this is, again, SK just having to weather the storm. These are those horrible rounds where you just have to sit there and be like, alright, well, we'll try and stack up on choke points, we'll try and focus on middle, it seems, but at the end of the day, we are down without any armor, and only Magic really with a Deagle and a couple of P250s around.
They'll be looking for something on mid again, coming forward, or at least thinking about it. Very sensible from NiP though again. Pit not opting to press forward, of course, with a Mac-10, so doesn't really fancy taking his chances there as well. That nade not connecting. Maybe that was too underpass, actually. As Pimple trace his footsteps back towards the B side. And NiP still deliberating on their angle of approach here. It's going to be a gap in the smoke there, but in fact it's just a big ruse because NiP have pulled out of mid entirely. This may give them a moment to storm on towards this A site. So I think it'll be the one player there. And rotate through connector as well. Will bring Modi on site. But he's not sure of where to put himself either as well. This is an opening. Definitely an opening for NiP. Is a silly... No.
The gamble.
Oh.
No. You roll the dice. It's just like, it just falls apart. The stack's all in the wrong place.
I'm never going to dump on a team for taking a risk like that.
No, you have to. This is the point. You have to just risk it. It's like if you try and find information, maybe if you went for a little bit of aggression, then okay. But really, what's the best that's going to happen? You might as well stack it and try.
Absolutely.
At least went for a flash as well, because you never know. You could just completely blind a couple of people, get a bit of damage done, maybe pick up one. At best, escape with a rifle. How sick would that be? And there you go. Magic's actually found Pit, so good work from him. What is this shot from Magic? This guy is absolutely nuts. He's going to get a third chance at it, but none of these guns are recoverable at the moment. Forrest is being like the gatekeeper of all that SK want and hope for until then. So now maybe there could be a little sneaky pickup, but highly unlikely.
Thing is here as well, NiP obviously buying into those Galils, not spending too much money to get these rounds away. So not a huge deal having lost a couple of those guns as well. Both Galils maintained if they wanted them. I mean, Get Right, yeah, trades in for an AK and NiP get the round. So now SK will buy straight up into this one here as well. And considering that they stacked that B side and left themselves with no opportunity to retake, I think SK Gaming will be happy enough getting those couple of kills away that did. And Magic is looking incredibly, incredibly good. 20 kills already for him. Definitely headlining for his team right now. This is the man I want to see really fire up though. Freeze, very quiet first half for him. And if SK want to exercise some map control, it needs to come from Freeze.
And there you go, you set it up perfectly. Pick goes down, and I love that aggression. That jump to get towards that pole is not exactly simple, but he makes it look so easy at this point. And Forrest going to be sent packing with his orb. Not going to have the time of his life over by B. Down to 12 HP very early on. And Exist going to try and nade up towards Connector, but at the moment, NiP having to play with 4. They've not even been able to really get a chance to get a kill back. Get Right's just going in full man mode towards A. Actually managed to get past Freeze for a second, but Freeze takes the fight and gets another one. That's 2 already this round, and that's a massive impact with the orb.
Which is exactly what his team were probably hoping to see from him here. I definitely was, for what it's worth. And NiP now are forced to try and make some sort of gambit for B. Now, Magic is sat right up in the corner here. And what does Exist have to pave the way? Nothing. Just a Molotov there, and Magic's very, very quick there as well. He may even peek on this one as Freiburg actually were able to come around the corner, but the trade in favour of the CTs here as Pimp is ready to receive. Freiburg going to push across. Does actually get the frag, and Asilian now stepping up. 3 full health players here up for SK. Very unlikely that NiP take this one away, notwithstanding anything bonkers, which we can't rule out at this stage. And his Forest picks up Asilian. It's a 2v2. Freeze now trying to work an angle out from shop.
This is terrifying if they actually do this NiP. I'm surprised they were allowed to get to this point, but the bomb's yet to go down. They still want to find one more, so they have one safe angle to work from, but they don't at the moment. Forrest has to be so cautious, 12 HP. He's tentatively flashing to short. Moddy's now found Freiburg because the flash didn't work.
There's no reason here for SK to push for anything crazy, but there's a 1v1 now, and Forrest can plant with a degree of safety because he obviously knows that Freeze was sat inside shot. Well, does he?
He's going to check for it.
Don't peek, come on.
Oh, peek it. Go for it, Forrest. Go on. He's trying to shoulder peek out of it.
I think he's seen the barrel. His gun. Yeah. Oh. Okay, there you go. That's probably the more sensible option. Forrest doesn't actually know where he is. Or he's expecting him to already have moved out here. So he's smoked himself in. Go for the point blank Hail Mary AWP shot. Why not? Oh, no.
Ring a roses.
He's got full health.
No.
No, he's got full health.
I'm done.
It looks like the guys at the kebab store when it's really late at night, they're trying to shave some meat off of the big chicken thing hanging off, and they're just not finding it. Oh, God, he gets the stab at the end, but
I'm sorry.
pros don't fake. My boy Freeze, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that is absolutely outstanding. Now, actually, that cost SK a fair bit of money. Mitch... Forrest is having such a really shit time of it, if I'm honest. He's like, he was naded down to 10 HP before. Now he can't land a single thing. And he's down to 50 HP instantly. Oh, bless.
That's really unfortunate. I'm not even mad. I'm not even disappointed. I'm
not even mad.
I just feel bad. Oh, yeah.
We need to like reset ourselves.
There's no better way to put it than the way you did. I'm not going to repeat it for the sake of my job, but...
Is your voice okay
No,
there?
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wiping tears at my eyes. Now, Freeze set up in mid-window here. NiP, after that mare of a round, have, to be fair, been able to buy out properly here as well. So they still have the guns to work with, although Forrest a little bit low. No AWP here for SK. They sustained significant casualties in that round, and at least Forrest got the stab on Freeze, so gets the AWP away from him. And that's something. You know, it's something. Right?
That's something. Oh, all right. Freeze does find Get Right again. So here we go. Back into the round. We do have the A hit coming in, and it's a little bit of one of those where they play full on almost contact straight ahead of the smokes. Moddy's going to have to push out for it. A bit brave and a little bit brazen there, but now it's down to Pimp and Magic with 0 utility, no kit. You've got to assume that this is a solid one in the bag for NiP, and they needed that after what happened.
Yeah, only 2 left for SK Gaming now as well, and they're just going to have to leave it. So credit to NiP. I mean, it's a round that they, shouldn't have won on the face of it. It was a 2v4, and the 2 NiP players had like 20 health or around that themselves. So they've done really well here, and the damage being done, this is how it manifests now. SK Gaming have to save on 2 Famases and no chance to really come forward. Forrest keeps his AWP, doesn't have to rebuy it. And they'll sit back on this one as well, take the round away. So that's going to be a 2-round buffer now for the Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Oh, Exist. Can he make it out alive? Nope. Pimp. We'll find him. No. No.
Can he not? Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Okay.
That was really awkward. Oh, that could have been such a shame. But so 9-11 now. Let's kind of take into account what this T side has really provided, barring that moment. Forrest actually had a very, very good kind of beginning in this whole game. He's been playing very well. Caught up to Magisk, which is actually very impressive. Now, one thing I like about his NiP is they have a lot of kind of variety to their T side. They haven't just been that phase style hit one site, hope for the best. A lot of mid control coming out, a lot of plays through B. But this is going to be curious. This is SK trying to make the most of what they've got, which is the rifle, which is still on Pimp, which Get Right is waiting so patiently to collect, but not this time. Not again, Forest. Yeah, there we go. Forest getting back into it. Modi goes down, and now they know there's 2 players pushed up because Pimp was the one who did manage to get the kill towards Get Right. Freiburg finds Magic on the rotate, so nicely played off that, but the bomb's still up by kind of, I guess, T-stairs almost, and 3 players left standing.
I mean, look at where they are as well. SK drawn across to the A side of the map here, where NiP have a lot of control of B. Well, maybe they don't know it yet. That's the thing. Pit is in ladder room. Pimp just below him here. Very, very low at that. So, he's seeing the gun barrel. Should be an easy pick up here. And Pit just making sure he does it right. And it's an open B site for NiP to push through into. Cillian and Freeze now. Hoping someone comes their way, but with an open B site, you'd be crazy to expect NiP to go anywhere else. They're just about to find that fact out as it's Tumbleweed rolling through in terms of CT side presence, and Freiburg can move his way into shop. And should better clean this one out here as well. Mind you, it was a bit of a save here for SK after that last round, so getting more than Get Right would be fantastic. And that is a FAMAS. That's good. So they've managed to recover some guns here. Of course, as Freeze having Get Right's weapon. They'll probably back away on that one and be satisfied, although Freiburg is going looking. Freeze can likely hear him jumping there as well towards mid-window, so that should be a Freeze kill there, and Cillian finds exist. So that's pretty good for SK. In fact, they're not going looking so much as just sitting back now and enough angles to catch out NiP. Pit drops as well. And Forest, I mean, at least he holds the AWP, obviously the most expensive gun on his side. But I'll be honest with you, NiP don't exactly have the most stellar economy themselves here.
No. Every kill that just came in there is actually really important. They're going to have enough money comfortably to buy in this. You're going to like 7k on people like Freiburg, but you're going to see drops coming out. You know, Get Right's not exactly in the perfect spot, and such as so. It's pretty weak overall in comparison to how it could be, considering the amount of rounds they've got. So these rounds have been relatively close. You know, 1 staying alive, 2, 3 here and there. It's not been like the most one-sided game in the world, and obviously knives happen. But yeah, this is still not the buy that you want SK to be on. This is one thing I'm hoping we can get refined here, is the fact that we're not Freeze consistently on that AWP. We're not getting to see the guy who made such a big difference being able to actually be back to that weapon. So 12-9 at the moment, NiP back in control here. Again, they look so solid on maps in the past when they have that full utility to actually build from. No smoke to connect. There is one. Telelights on the other side.
Came over the top
Coming
of it.
through, yep. And that allows them to work straight up short, but Magic and Pimp are well aware of this. But then again, there is control to ladder room. They can easily work through here and actually re-pressure towards A, as that bomb is yet to be collected. It's NiP trying to get so much map control, which they actually have now. But when do they actually start pushing somewhere beyond that?
And SK's options for stalling, not stellar. I mean, this is definitely a force for them. And there's Freeze actually. Let's see Freiburg jump into the mid window. And Freiburg is not a known giver of dams as he makes his way through. He even jumps across the opening as well. Gets himself in and goes back for the peak. The Freeze, though, a little bit too canny for that one. Freiburg could have gone on towards A, but in fact, he will just have to be fertilizer for the rest of this round. Stinky fertilizer.
Nice.
It all is, I'm sure.
Well, that's one benefit for NiP. They did manage to win over on the player who pushed up ramp, but now everything's known. All the cards that NiP were holding are now out on the table. It's Get Right, Forest, and Pit left standing. Pit's on the rotate, but now Freeze is going to try and take the fight real quick on this one. Spots out Pit as well. Pit's down low, so now just down to him in a 1v3. Not going to have a shot at it. Well played to SK. This slight ramp aggression coming through. Freeze turning up. I really did want to see more from NiP, but their money is shot. This could be like a Tech 9 buy-up, a couple of drops from Forest maybe. This
is the impact of SK's round 2 rounds ago, when obviously they had Freeze and I think maybe Modi or one of the last 2 players just get 2 kills apiece there in the afterplant situation. So that's how it manifests. Gero with a Tech 9, exist with a Galil, and not a heck of a lot to be going on with grenades here. Freeze has Forest's AWP. Won't connect that first shot there as well, but he finds Get Right easily enough as he audaciously tries to make his way up short, close the gap, of course, and put that Tech 9 to work, and now Forest presses through as well. Not able to get shots up on towards Magisk on the van. This could be a little bit interesting now for NiP if this round doesn't work out for them, which is so far the trajectory that we're on. Pretty average for them thus far. Although Pit and Freiburg combining nicely through Connector has actually managed to even the ledger. Freiburg has to go back for the bomb. There's Exist on towards Freeze here. Keep player down, and that AWP available as well, but they won't take it. Pimp in towards ladder room. A little bit late there, as he's going to miss Exist, who's now heading into underpass.
And the weird thing being, they're going straight towards the side where the both B players have generally been. Pimp and Magisk have been playing B later into these rounds, and maybe this is what's causing some slight hesitation here with the rest of NiP. They're, SK obviously are starting to spread themselves out a little bit and not joining up at this point. And Pimp's going to hear any steps. Freiburg is... no one's stepping, so in theory, no one's can be seen here.
Should be able to pick Freiburg.
So Freiburg's pretty much a goner depending on time, but now that's not where the bomb is. The bomb's heading over towards A. Now, the thing is, if Freiburg actually starts stepping, Magic might start believing that Pimp's got a good idea, and actually that could be the case, but Magic is not leaving. And Pimp's being smart about this. He's seen no one else. This is a fake play. Magic, get ready for what's coming. Here we go. Pimp needs to be quick now. Checks the halls. Nothing there. All right, Magic, it's down to you. Hold the A site. You've got 20 seconds. I'll be there as fast as I can. And he spots them out. Doesn't get the initial shot through that he needs. Flashes over. Good flash as well. Connected on both. But bomb's going down. And Exist is actually planting. Open for CT, but Pit hits the shot now. Pimp. He took a little long on that rotate, but now he's here, and they don't expect him. Molly's going to do well towards Pit. Might spread just towards him, but no. Just behind him towards the, I guess the camping corner, you could call it. Not quite what we normally call it.
No, that's a bit more derogatory, but you know how we feel about that one. Pit pops up, and that's a round that NiP honestly didn't really have any business in winning. They were down in the 3v5 situation with a really forced up buy, and they've managed to bring it back there, and that's devastating for SK now as well. They've got to go pretty light in terms of armament here in this one, which is a shame because that was their chance to actually go into a very, very strong finish to this game.
SK was starting to build a wall, and then it kind of just fell apart piece by piece. And as you said, it wasn't a round that NiP should have won. That should have been a string together for SK, but not gonna happen. Now NiP back on the buy, and SK sadly have to just sit there and probably assume that NiP are going to be on 14 rounds. But Freeze back on the pole again. Not going to see much. And as he didn't see anything mid, you can read into that as you will.
Pole freezed up, but nothing to come away from it. This freeze is good. I'm already broken from before. You can't laugh and expect me not to. I'm already broken from before. It was freezed up, covered in freeze, but now he's going to actually head over towards Connector and get ready for the A hit, which NiP are actually going to be bringing. As you can see them all set up here. Ready to go on the set play.
Ready to go on the set play.
It's a set play. That's all I can get out right now. So
it's okay. It absolutely is. But they're going to delay it a little, wait for the smokes to plume, then hit it. Get right coming through Palace. The thing is, though, the SK are actually stacked on this, as you noted, but again, with minimal amounts, only a PT50 and a Deagle as an investment, and they're already being ripped out of their hands one by one. Molly made the most of it, being a little unsuspecting towards Dark, and Magic actually getting a ridiculous headshot and Get Right there, but not going to get much more. Only losing out on Freiburg, Get Right staying alive on 2 HP. And no plant there in the end, but it doesn't really matter. Yep. Enough money is there now to get this full buy going, and this is pretty much where SK needs to stop it. Otherwise, it's all pretty much done for. Yeah,
no AWP buy up here for Ninjas and Pyjamas as well. We'll see how that plays out. Double Famous for Acelian and Magisk as well. Freeze, no nades to work with, and again, no need for helmets here. It's just wasted money against these AKs. So we're going to see SK now 3 on towards that B side. No mid presence to speak of. Although Freeze has that AWP on short. See what he can do with it. There is a Molotov. Will cut out any further progress for him. One player will be allowed in towards mid-window. I think that's Pimp, but I don't know what he's going to do with that. And he's smoked up.
He's just playing a little passive. Once that smoke dissipates, he'll be able to get a nice little vision towards it, and he actually can support short here. And Freeze is going to need help soon. Maybe not. Pit's going to be actually hammered down as Get Right falls as well towards Pimp. And there's a little bit of a crossfire, there's a little bit of a pinch towards short. Is paying off massively. The 3 remaining players of NiP shouldn't have much of a shot in this, and there you go. That's the first nail in the coffin for this round, really, as Freiburg falls. It's down to your Exist and Forest combo. Now, there shouldn't be much of a chance in this, if I'm honest. You should never lose 2v5s, but then again, it's still Forest.
NiP is what we see in this game as well. Time after time, there's these rounds that they have no business winning, and they stilled away.
We'll see. Exist has got itself into a good spot. Spots out Acelian, should line up for Forest. Gets it, but sacrificed to Modi in the end for that. Not a worthwhile trade, really, for NiP in their eyes. They needed clean kills and not going to be gifted it. Well done to SK for holding on to the 5v2 in the end, boiled down to a 4. Sure, you gave up on 1, and look how close the money is. To be fair, they needed to keep players alive in that, so them keeping this clean has given them a good buy here. Now, NiP back onto that kind of like midpoint where it's still a Tech 9 buy up for Pit with the utility. Freiburg, the same as well, with not much utility either. This could just be like a default A coming out, possibly.
Now, I didn't even call out Freeze, but when since I mentioned him, I'm pretty sure he's 9 and 5. So that's really, really good from him. Really stepping up, and he's now sat at the top of the scoreboard. Again, Going to come down to these last couple of rounds here. And again, starting things off nicely. Get right falls. Weird buy for NiP here. Using 2 AKs and trying to make that one work. Now, a lot of smoke on towards his A side, and Freeze actually backing away from one of the only advantages he really had on towards Palace, but Asilian is there, at least gets one, but he's just going to punch straight on through with that AK. Modi, though, is there. Takes him out. Freeze, close range, doesn't actually connect that shot. Oh, my lord, as Freiberg goes through and actually passes Magic's boy here as well, so if he just sits in this corner, he will at least get 1 kill for his trouble, and he does. Bomb is dropped over on the site. There's a lot of work for Freiberg to do. No time to scavenge a weapon, no time to increase his ranged fighting capabilities. And he's going to go down.
And again, the money's starting to look a little weak for NiP. They might have to start playing towards the end couple of rounds at this point. Only on 2K so far. So SK are actually building bank, which is great for them. They're going to get 3K left over towards Freeze. And Modi's a little light in this one, but again, they're against a team on pretty much as full of an eco as you generally see in CSGO, I guess, at this point, where it's P250s, it's smoke, should I say. So, again, not expected to get too much, but any damage dealt is always going to be an issue. As we are seeing the slow crouch through. Maybe just a discussion more than anything at this point. Yeah. I think it's just
not always
time.
enough time in between those rounds to have a chat, so they are just going to...
Well, the thing is, they can always call a timeout next round as well.
Thank you, Pit, for that.
Can we get a proper angle on that rush, please?
It's like a badger. You know what badgers do? They do that as well. They do that little bouncy dance.
Badger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, this is talk time. This is when they sit there, discuss things through, have a chat. You know, what's been starting to work for SK? What's been the change here in this one? And if they don't resolve it in this, they can always call a timeout next round if they really need to talk through it. So options are plenty here for NiP. They do need to feed one to the gods soon, otherwise SK will be becoming restless and curious as to where the opponents have gone, and Exist might be that lamb to said slaughter. But actually all of NiP are going to try and make something out of this. Maybe, alright guys, we've got a good idea of what we want to do now. Let's go.
That nade actually doing far less damage to Pit than it could have. He was just a bit more forward over here. So actually a lot of ground being gained here by NiP, and Pimp forced back, but he and Magis will combine quite well, and Pimp there gets the robot aim straight around behind him, and it's Get Right to fall from that one. And that's fine. It's a extended deliberation period for NiP. Got me a close one here. First map, not so close, 16-8. And this is going to be far closer affair, of course, with SK now bringing things back and starting to give themselves just a nice little buffer for those last few rounds. If anything does go wrong, they can still buy up, and that's definitely where you want to be. NiP, can't say the same for them here. They've got 5 AKs. I mean, they dropped this one here as well, and SK are going to have a big advantage in those last couple here. So still crunch time. NiP haven't hit that magic number 15 yet, so they can't be resting on their laurels.
No, this is certainly going to be a tougher task, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of a mid to A, possibly, considering where Get Right is. Again, he could be just looking for that counter-aggression that does come through towards ramp every now and then from the CT side. Now, let's see if that's going to be a factor here. Yet the bomb is not committed, so keep your mind towards that this is yet to be a fully kind of committed round from NiP. Still looking for options, and they might just find one. Forrest just gets punished by Magic going walkabouts. No one holding the B apartments push through. So he got complete freedom to walk through that. And again, this is the thing, when a team essentially takes a timeout or a break like that, throwing a dash of aggression can completely ruin people's mindsets coming out of a break where you've discussed these actual tactical things to do. Because you're like, well, we can't do it now.
No, it doesn't work out. It's like this grand plan, but sometimes the grandest of plans can be the most fragile as well. Lose an important piece, and it's back to the drawing board. It's Pimp and Asilian waiting for something on this site. I think it is Pit. No. Yes, Get Right. Pit's actually connected there as well. Thanks, Rush. Saving my bacon. He's going to get boosted up in towards that mid-window there. We're not going to find much for now as well, but important little gain in position for NiP.
I'm surprised NiP haven't been able to punish this more. They're giving control over towards mid-window, and they're going to be wondering where these players are, because Pimp is not giving away game. He's going full Dupree right now, and actually works so damn well. 2 kills back-to-back. That is frustrating for NiP, but it's down to a 2v2. Pit finds 1, and now it's just down to Magic.
I don't know how we got here. I've been watching. I just don't know how we got here. They're boosting the mid-window was an excellent start here, and Magic's now... This is terrible for SK. Heartbreaking. They need to bring this one back. Pit does drop, but the bomb is ticking away. Magic does not have a kit.
This position isn't fantastic from Exist. He's going to be playing this from Dark, I think. I'm not sure if I like it. Magic is stepping like an elephant, so Exist can get the angle on it now, which will be absolutely fine. And there we go. NiP keep control of it. Exist keeping his cool in the end. But him being in that spot could have been so much worse. But again, the money is really far from perfect for NiP.
Yeah.
This is still going to be a bit of a shoddy buy, but it's a good buy, a final throw in from SK. So they're coming up against everything now. So you've got the double orbs out, Freeze and Pimp going for those.
Neither team is on a good buy at all here, really. The other NiP's is arguably worse.
Yeah, Pit with the Tech 9. They've got the utility, but it's still like Galils and such. There's no warp for Forest and Freeze. Let's see what you can do. He's just seen the foot cross, I think, from Freiburg, so they know roughly what's coming their way. And Forest this time is like, all right, I'm going to hold those beer palmers for a little while, make sure Magic can't get round by my players. And then it looks like they're going to go for something relatively similar. They've got the same players in the same similar places.
And about that Magic. This Freeze there, going to nade himself forward. Pimp, though, gets tagged up really heavily. He was watching in towards mid with the AWP, and he's now going to have to sit right back. Still can do a lot at B, of course, if he stays safe, and even Forrest trying to catch him on his way through with a wallbang. Won't quite get there, but you can see his idea. Freeze now having to back out over towards A, and it's Get Right just essentially holding a pivot here. If anyone from SK gets a little bit too cavalier, it's going to be the end of them. And that flash should time out on Get Right. But will he get the challenge? No. It's going to be Molly down towards 6 points of health. So NiP, yes, they're losing personnel, but 2 players on SK very, very low. And looks like they're gathering together here for what appears to be a push.
But they're expecting a lot through Connector. You know, Freeze and Molly are kind of not necessarily positioned for it, but Molly's not in a great spot. He's in like a one and done. See what he can do. I guess on 6 HP you might as well, but Freeze is in the perfect position for this. Freiburg is done. It's down to 3 for NiP. Exist holding mid. Forest and Pit trying to work in towards A, and there's still Molly playing this so cool, calm and collected, even though it's absolutely nothing. And the plant comes in for short, and this is a relatively safe plant somehow. Yeah. With this many players alive, that's unbelievable. So Bomb is down.
That was from CT, I think. Cillian got him through the box there. But the bomb is down, like you said.
It's all Exist here. Forrest can play the bait and roll. He can do whatever he wants, but they don't have a smoke on the CT side. And there's no defuse yet. Here we go. 1v4. Exist, get ready for the absolute challenge of your life. Gonna flash over. 1 is on it, though. He flashes 1, 2. Defuse still comes in, and look how low they were. But it doesn't matter. Low is not low enough. And there's going to be another round coming out. This could be going to overtime, Mitch. Honestly, looking at the money here, I wouldn't be surprised.
Some challenges that NiP could justifiably have won there, unfortunately going by the wayside. Get Right, sat on T-ramp, had a possibility there as well. And Milmody with 6 health is still a player on the board, and he's able to sit back in the camp corner and pop out when he needed to. Also, Cillian's wallbang as well through to the side, cutting down Pit. Didn't stop the plant, but of course, managing to get rid of Pit was a huge boon. And then we saw Morty was forced to come forward. It was quite a safe plant. I think there was a player sat in mid-window, maybe, but over towards the little hole. The corrugated iron covers normally, so didn't quite have the angle on Pit there as well. Yep, I mean, tiebreaker is very, very possible here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked. Again, though, SK starting to string rounds together. It was NiP taking that time out, that step back for a second. That actually got them, I guess, back around in this. But Forrest has been the player almost dropping 30 in this game, excuse me. So impressive from him. Him and Magic going toe for toe. Score-wise, almost spot on. But yeah, NiP now have to kind of consider what's their last final gambit here. What's their last throw of cards? What do they do? Because I know they're going to be coming up against a pretty much well-set, well-versed SK. And the NiP play that's been coming out for the last couple of rounds hasn't been really ringing all that true. So they need to be a little bit more pragmatic, maybe find a plan here. And I'm wondering what they conjure up in these last couple of seconds.
I don't think they have too much to work with at all here. Forrest able to force in towards an AK. Pit not opting to do the same here as well. He fancies a bit more of that there utility. Very messy a buy for NiP, but what do you expect? They're in a shaky spot already, and SK Gaming, despite being relatively impoverished themselves, has been able to cobble together a far more respectable buy as well. Kits for all and sundry, plenty of utility, and rifles for everyone. So that is definitely a big challenge for NiP to step into now as well. Let's see how they play around this one, because Freeze, as per the usual, will be looking straight down mid, but flashes and smokes are going to allow SK Gaming some progress through. Sometimes you wonder if that player's going to just randomly pull the trigger through the smoke, but no, Freeze is going to back up here. Pretty much cut out of the action there as well, and that's the bare minimum of what NiP had to do in this round. Yeah,
so mid control now achieved. They forced SK back towards the sites, and I assume SK know there's going to be limited amounts working towards them, so going to be fewer mollies to come up against, and they still have the smokes and mollies of their own, so they can delay this as much as they like. But NiP looking ready for a B hit, and a B hit and a half coming through here, but again, reminding ourselves, Freeze and Asilian and Modi, bearing in mind, have not gone for the information play towards ramp. First smoke comes down. That's so you can't see directly towards short, as well as blocking off a touch of looking at site. But these nades and these mollies are hurting NiP so much before they even get to the site. Great work from Pim, doing some good damage, but it's Modi and Magisk coming up with the goods, and we are going into overtime unless there's something left in, well, some of that get-right magic here. Hello?
It's been quite some time since we've seen that really in the ways of old. NiP now up against 3. There's going to be a player on towards short. One in shop, one on the site here. And it's going to be Asilian to pick it up here as well. It is going to be overtime, and SK Gaming have brought it back against the odds multiple times here. But the effort they put in the first half definitely coming back. Remember, NiP had to bring 6 rounds back in a row to give themselves a respectable total here. So this is impressive.
If Forrest got that knife.
Oh, don't. I'm still pretty broken by that one, to be honest.
I just want to watch it all the time. Can we watch that again, guys, or is that not possible? Slow-mo, maybe? Please, Matt. Please, producer Matt. Make me a happy person. The forest knife. Can we do it? Can we make it happen? We can build a wall, people, together. Let's make it happen.
Make CS great again.
The dank memes are strong today. Thank God we can't actually cast CS. We can just say memes instead, right?
We're here for the banter, actually.
Yeah, the strong bants, mate.
Good. That's what happens. I think Joe Miller, obviously, who's in charge of talent organisation, he might have to separate us, but...
Nah. The banter is too good.
Bad influence, Lara.
I am not a bad influence. I'm the best influence. I blame people like Anders and Samler, right? Like, they brought me down, you know, to their level of hilarity, where I just end up giggling most of the time.
Is that low hilarity or high hilarity, though?
It's a great... That's the question, isn't it? Right? That's the big question. And I assume we can't see the forest clip, and you just want to make me sad, Matt. Thanks, producer Matt.
I think you're searching it up on Hyperdeck now, so...
Yeah. We are actually trying to convince Matt to change his Twitter to producer Matt, because then you guys can, like, tweet him. And hashtag production value. Anything goes wrong, like, doesn't they...
No, hashtag ESL production value.
No, just his. But no, this is the thing, like, it doesn't even have to be our shows, but just generally, if you just want to, like, highlight stuff to him, that'd be great. But apparently producer Matt is taken. That's upsetting. I really wanted that.
Yes.
Aww.
It's okay, I'm sure we can do something else. Like, Aspec's a decent name as well. Can use that. Sounds very producery. Sounds really big time producery.
Millions on the line. 15 to 15. We are going to overtime. And I wonder if the double up's going to come out. Pimp, will you do it? Because it's a risky investment on 10k.
First round, yeah.
Yeah. It can get costly. No. Pimp won't do it. All right, that's fine then. I kind of just want to see it, like, after everyone like always gives it.
He doesn't want the community backlash. He doesn't want to have to come forward and make a public apology for playing an AWP.
I'm so sorry. Okay. I've let myself down and you in the future. But no, let's see how this resets, of course, because NiP go back on the T side and keep this going. And well, that's not the beginning Forrest was imagining. Already getting pinned to the wall by Freeze. And now 5v4.
Going to continue to come forward is Freeze, even though the smoke is up there as well. Most of NiP set up in mid. AKs for all 4 remaining members, and Freeze looking for something in ladder room. I assume he must have heard some sound there. Looking for Freiberg. Won't catch him though. Very, very quick reactions from Freiberg. Notice no damage taken by the man, so that is clinical as he's taken Freeze apart. Worthwhile trade, one would say, for NiP now. It's coming forward on this T side. They're still yet to really make a decisive press towards any of these sites, but the amount of control that they have over short is definitely going to be coming in handy. As Magic committed in towards apartments, so to leave there quickly, he'll be heard. Freiberg and Exist would love to keep tabs on him, or at least find him and be able to track his progress here. But 3 players up on A here as well, so NiP going to be going 4v3 into this one until Magic can get himself together. It's going to take a while, and Pip's going to start to burn a little bit there. Great Molotov. He will burn down. He won't be able to get away. Get right. Gets it done. Even though Pit falls down, it's the best that Pim could have hoped for from that situation now as well. Magic still isn't on site yet, so he's not able to help his team out. He's going the long way around the back, and it might get him 1 or 2, but 3, that's a big ask. So Modi definitely has to try and hold position now and work with Magis. The bomb is down.
Yeah, Freiberg could be caught in this, but the information's instantly going to be gathered and sent through. But Get-Right's in a bit of a shoddy spot, I guess, but it can do the job now. I guess lucky enough that Magic is coming from this direction, that no one really knows it. And here you go. So 1 player on the site. Going to be Modi. Get right, here's him. Knows there's one on the site. sprays in, gets it. Smart, brilliant play from Get Right, closing down what could be a very dangerous round from SK. We saw last time Pimp in that spot really excelled, finding 2, if not 3 almost. There, he actually still managed to get one even though he was mollied out, which was Pit, so still impressive, but again, NiP getting this first round is actually very important here.
It all started from Freiburg managing to get the better of Freeze as well there. Freeze peeking into ladder room, thought he had the advantage, probably bolstered for confidence after taking Forest down, but ended up being his undoing eventually. Freeze again. It's back towards mid. Smoke will again preventing real shots coming down. Notice that Exist and Forest are actually working on this B side here as well, so Magisk may be tested, but Pit has left the bomb towards top of mid, and he'll be picking it up in due course, but not without any strict need to do so. Get Right always wary of Acelian potentially pushing through Palace as well. He's been caught off by that before.
Yeah. So NiP with a really slowish start. Just wanted to see if maybe SK threw like an aggressive play out there. You know, Magic will occasionally do it, so you know, why not be careful of it? Modi push ramp, as you said, Acelian pushes Palace. It's not anything new. NiP playing a little bit more delayed actually might work out in their favor. Yet to lose out on trades. Pimp going to be flashed, but not completely blind, able to turn it just, and Freiburg just walks into it. Now that means that SK does have control of mid to some degree still, or at least can challenge to some small amount, but actually Pit's going to swing in and gets a lot of damage towards him, but does prevail in the end, taking down Pimp. So a very important point that they want to get control of here is now Freeze is going to kind of bolster himself towards short, keeping tabs on if he hears any steps, and there is Exist below him, but no one up in ladder room. So now they know no one's here. Where did they go? Because there were players around, and Magic's going to be the one to have to deal with the flood of NiP pretty darn soon.
Probably no stranger to having to deal with influx of players on his side of the map here. It's going to be one Molotov thrown out there and didn't actually go over the platform there, so...
They probably wanted to clear out the corner maybe as well. It is a possibility, but it's Freeze with an absolute blinder towards Pit.
Yeah, very sharp from him now as well. Magisk is going to get involved. He's sat by those pillars, and Forest now is just going to be gunned down through the pillars. The shots comes through. He finds Magisk. He wasn't even looking for him actually there, but it'll be Acelian there getting the finish here. One apiece here to start things off. Neither side, God help me, willing to give an inch at this stage.
Side.
Neither
Excellent.
side. I'm Sean Connery. Neither side.
All right, 16-16. Would be great for SK to pick this one up to give them a buffer going in towards that T side. Bearing in mind that, for me, SK, as ever, always one side shines more than the other, but I'm not sure which way this one's going to go, as Freeze going to be watching that mid play. Good nade towards Freiburg again. Going to be finding this difficult at this point, and NiP looking a little bit rinse and repeat here, but Get Right far more present towards ramp this time, and maybe actually going to go with that later into this one. But again, Forest pretty much solo on B, just looking for that pick maybe towards Magic or denying any control or push through or information. There goes the smokes. This could just be an A hit coming out pretty soon. Considering where the bomb is, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's all very much the same for Freeze. Once again being forced out of mid by copious amounts of smoke. But he always seems to make it happen later on as well if he has to there. Boost by Pimp actually being read into by Pit there as well. Magisk very, very hastily backpedaling over towards the B site. But no real press here for NiP to follow that up. They're happy enough to get the pick away. And sit back on this one now as well. Now the Pit is exceedingly low. And NiP, if they want to enter onto a site now, they don't have a hell of a lot to work with. Forest is probably their biggest tool. I get another boost here as well. Freiburg not hearing it, I don't think.
No.
No.
And he might actually not be able to see Magic at all. Magic could get the drop on him. But this is down to Modi and Freeze. And Modi, I don't like this spot, but it's down to Freeze to hit the shots on the way through ramp. And he's not been able to do it just yet. It's Get Right killing Pit.
That's not good.
How?
I think he walked into his Molotov there as well. We'll have to find out later on there. It's Exist takes down Modi. It's Freeze and Magisk in a 2v2. The bomb is down, and that's Exist. Now, coming alive against Magisk, and it's Freeze up towards Ticket Booth, and has to try and work around this situation. It's 2 rounds on the T side in this overtime for NiP. A damn good start for them. And yeah, I don't know what happened there with that Molotov. I have to assume that's...
I didn't actually see it.
Well, I mean, it's not quite Kona level Molotov stepping.
Sorry, my headset is killing me now. It's almost like we've been wearing it for 6 games.
We got you the pink fluffy one, and you're still complaining. Like,
I know.
what's going on?
Feminism.
What? All right, let's go through the list of political topics here. What do we know about feminism? Nothing. I'll just say feminism.
I'll just say the word.
Just say it.
It's
and everyone's like, oh. Right.
It's all right. When Henry gets some decent banter going, normally during like previous Pro League games, I just call him a sexist. And that's all I do, and then he can't say anything. It's great. It's like my instant fallback. I don't even need to be funny. But yeah, the one thing I want to say is though, actually someone who I haven't mentioned much of, which is ridiculous, is Exist. In that last round, he was the one doing all the damage. He was the player at the forefront for NiP. He didn't get the flashiest of kills, but his level of consistency is going up a hell of a lot, and he's actually becoming more and more of an impact player in the way that is actually really enjoyable to watch, and it's good to see actually. So the final round was pretty much secured by him in quite a few aspects, but yeah, waiting for the second half to kick off. Feels like it's been a lifetime since we've seen SK on the T side, but yeah, actually it was pretty well constructed before. A lot of plays through mid, and just actually really good at taking mid.
They sprung off the pistol round really nicely, and they shut down 2 gun rounds consecutively there from NiP and put them in a really nasty spot. But round loss bonus kicks in, and NiP get to sort of fight back with still a dodgy buy. Managed to bring it back, so very interesting. Now, 1 round in it, and we're going to be going on to the second half here of this overtime. NiP only need a couple more and they're done. SK have to bring it back in a pretty big way here. Let's see now as the double AWP buy off the bat for NiP here. Pit going to be picking one up. How delightful.
And it's actually gone past midnight. I didn't even realise that.
Oh, time flies when you're casting quality CS.
Yeah, and the double AWP investment on the CT side is costly. It's fine if you succeed. If you don't, you actually might suffer and actually go down to pistols by the end of it. So this is the danger of always going for, or not always going for, but for going for it. So actually an interesting one to see coming out. Have to wait and see if that does become a downfall at all, or maybe something they feel is necessary. Bearing in mind last time around on the CT side, Forest, once he got that ult, became actually very, very integral to how the rounds went down. So this is actually quite an important one. So now, again, SK taking mid control very proficiently, as they did prior. But can they now transfer that towards actually taking the site? Exist, Freiburg, and Forest are dedicated towards A. Get Right not able to see much from short. It's still trying to look through that. Once that smoke goes, he could maybe do some work there, but send packing by a nade or two. But here comes the play from SK. Gonna make their way through connector, through jungle, but it's Exist again, the player that I can't just seem to look away from at the moment. Already gets 2, brings it down to the 3v3. But with 2 AWPs, it's actually going to be hard to play retake unless you're starting to hit the shots already. Yeah, before they even get to the site, that's where you want to catch them. And now we might even see Forest tested again by Pimp. He's going to make it a little bit of a peek, and Forest is going to punish him for that level of audacity. Oh! Let's go, Forest! No one's knocking these trees down. He's going to get the defuse, and that was stunning stuff there from Forest. 3 for him, pressed very, very closely. I had to fish the microphone out of my mouth, as usual. That's the problem. I think the range on the mic is just not... anyway, whatever. Forest... But just look at this.
Pimp tastes him here.
I think, obviously, you saw him on the shoulder peaks earlier. You saw the foot stepping out from just underneath it, so he was aware that he was there. But it's this shot that just baffles me. Just the instant adjustment towards Modi is just good stuff. 18-16, though. This is now a little bit worrying for SK. As I said, it was a risky investment from NiP to go for that double AWP to start with, unless you're very confident in it. And to be fair, it paid off and then some. Forest now in towards underpass. He might get a catch. No, the flash coming in at the right time. Cleverly set up, but the peak is going to be too good. Forest now really starting to wake up. Able to back away from that one comfortably with the scalp of Magisk under his belt. And now Modi as well. It's going to be a smoke towards mid. No one in mid window though, so maybe even on towards short and allow some safe passage for SK Gaming to move their way through. But Get Right going towards underpass as well. He should be able to make some sort of catch here. The longer SK spend here, the easier it is for NiP to encircle and just get this one done. And at 19 rounds, magic number coming up, very, very close. All NiP need to do now is finish the job. And the thing is now, Pit's so close. He was actually starting to rotate towards A, and now he's got to at this point. He's actually going to go the long road round, but they are in the right place. They have read this correctly off the back of the information Get Right gathered. Now Forest is going to get the drop here. Freeze, the timing! Really? Forest just looks away towards Palace, but now it's down to Freeze, Modi, and Pimp. Again, opening kills have to be quick, deadly, and fast. And there we go, Modi's found one. Can't get the second, however, but there we go. Exist now looks for the further. He understands how this play begins, and Freeze is left out in the open, hung out to dry. And NiP, after what seemed like a struggle, pick up the victory.
I don't know, Lauren, those kills were both quick and fast, but actually from NiP, so managed to really shut down things for SK Gaming there. Over time, they came alive. I'm looking at Exist, I'm looking at Forest there as well in those last few moments. Absolutely critical.
Forest in the last couple of rounds, it was just sick. You know, that AWPing became prime. Like, never knife again, Forest. I'm sorry, I'm a big fan of you. I think you're a great player, but no more.
Don't know, I'm gonna get re-triggered the laughing thing here. So we're gonna finish this in one piece.
Yeah, no, none of that. AWPing was absolutely sick. Where the investment on the double AWP Exist as well. Really, really integral kills.
Stunning stuff there indeed. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the war is over. Let's pass it over to our analyst now to break it down. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you later.
Thanks very much, guys. This is, of course, Alex Machine Richardson and Halvor Vendetta Gullistol. Just to break down our